Welcome to this week's Ask Amy episode. Jennifer Salazar with the Better Business Bureau's Education Foundation is joining me. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Amy. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so you guys, and a lot of people may not even realize that the Education Foundation exists with the BBB or what it is, but you guys mostly focus on helping seniors.
Absolutely. We help with scams. So the Better Business Bureau of Houston also has a Better Business Bureau Education Foundation, which is a separate 501c3, and we help seniors in all ages with scams.
And I think this is so important because we do scams and stories and warnings and alerts all the time. But I don't think you can do them enough for seniors who, one, aren't paying attention, two, think, oh, they're savvy, they're never going to fall for these things. A lot of the things are the same type of scams that target anybody, any age. But why is it that seniors seem so much more susceptible to these?
Honestly, scammers are good at what they do, and it's so easy to fall for a scam. For example, your phone can ring and you really believe it's the IRS calling you because even on the caller ID it says IRS. So we're talking about the greatest generation of Americans that were brought up with morals, and they really believe if the IRS is calling, it's the IRS. Unfortunately, it's a scammer. Phishing, not the kind of phishing I like to do on my weekends, but it's email. For example, if you ordered something online for the holidays and you get an email saying that you still owe shipping and handling, it's definitely a scam because once you check out at these retailers, a lot of times you pay all of that. A way to avoid that scam is when you look at the email address, if you put your mouse on top of that email address for 5 seconds, it shows the real email. And a lot of times it is not that store that you ordered it from. It could be gobananas.com or something, some odd name. But it all goes back to morals and respect. Also, as we age, sometimes we have dementia, Alzheimer's, we may be lonely at home. If somebody calls you, you might think that they really care and you might accidentally give up more information than you should.
And actually, whenever I said, why are they so much more susceptible, I recalled actually years ago being at home with my then father, who's passed away since then, but being shocked at how much the phone rang whenever we were there on an old landline that was there. I was like, wow. I mean, I haven't had a landline in years, so I didn't realize how many people are calling throughout the day.
Oh, absolutely. I was visiting my dad a few weekends ago in Beaumont, and his phone rung within 30 minutes, like at least 6 times. Every single one was a scammer trying to get either his Medicare number, his Social Security number, some kind of payment. They just keep calling. And the fact is, a lot of times we think that it's somebody, but it's not. It's a scammer. Also, robocalls. They're trying to trick you. For example, if it says, hold on to hear, like car warranties, press 1 to find out more. It's really not even the car warranty. It's scammers trying to see what phone numbers are working, what phone numbers are not working. Once they verify that the phone number works, they sell your phone number to even more scammers.
And one way that they verify whether the phone number is working are people who say,
press 1.
Press 1 to opt out of these calls.
Yes, and something else. Once they have that phone number, Amy, they go to the internet. And off of a phone number, for example, my phone number, you can find out where I live because my address, and you can find out information about me. And then guess what? They can call me. Is this Jennifer Salazar? Yes. Do you own a blue CRV? Well, yes, I do. Well, this is your car warranty. See, they can find out information about you and use it.
Right. And so you said earlier when I was speaking with you that every scam starts with what?
Communication. Emails, social media, telephone. It's all a way that they get our information. Like it or not, even if you've never been on the internet, your information's out there. If you've ever owned a piece of property, if you've ever been married, if you ever graduated from college, if you've been in a high school yearbook, your information is online. Scammers use that. They use everything to try to scam you.
Right. And so there are plenty of seniors who are online, and it's almost a necessity these days. Even if they don't want to be, their bill pays, there are certain accounts that make it so much easier, and some require you to do that online. So what should, as people who have parents who are seniors or who are getting there, I mean, what should we be doing to make sure that they're not falling for these things? Because seniors don't always ask for help.
Exactly. And I'm glad you asked that. So first off, have a conversation. Have a conversation. My parents are finally at that age that we're having the conversation. And when I talk to them, I'm like, with all due respect, because 60 is the new 40 and 70 is the new 50.
And
it's not like it was. So we have a cup of coffee and we talk, and I'm like, look, if you get a phone call and if you think it's the IRS, it's not. You never give out your Social Security number. You're talking about a generation that Social Security numbers used to be used for everything, even military IDs. That used to be your social. Not any longer. It's now identity theft. Also, tell them you can't win something if you didn't enter something. Sweepstakes scams are big. And who doesn't want to win money? I want to win money, and I know you do. But what happens is they think that they want all this money, but then they have to pay the taxes on it. That's not correct. You pay taxes to the IRS. So talk to them about also the internet. Say, let's talk about the internet. For example, stranger danger, any age. If you get a friend request, make sure that that is the actual person. Pick up the phone and call them. My grandmother actually got a friend request from somebody she knew in high school. And I'm like, don't become their friend right away. Let's find out if this is really the person. Turns out that person passed away many years ago.
Oh.
Somebody was using their name. So it's we have to be very cautious, and we just have to look for red flags. Also, check your mail. I know that sounds silly and simple, but if you check your mail, if you're getting offers that you did not apply for, like credit cards, if you're getting vacation information that you did not request, those are things to look out for. Just be suspicious. When in doubt, check it out and give us a phone call.
Well, and you said, for us, somebody who may have a senior parent who might not have even asked for help, but that's something that you can do is whenever you do maybe pick up their mail for them to look through it and see like,
Exactly.
oh, why would they be getting, this magazine subscriptions for a magazine that they would never really
and
read.
They would never order it. And not only that, have the open communication. Say, look, it's a new world. I'm even learning. For example, my 15-year-old has to show me how to use some things on my phone. Tell them, look, even your granddaughter, your great-granddaughter has to show us things. This is a new world, and we have to stay on top of it because technology is a blessing, but it's also a curse. And we just have to be more cautious. During the holidays, a big scam that goes on is work from home. And you think that, oh, I'm on, like social media and there's a job application to work from home. And for example, all you're going to do is wrap presents. Who doesn't want to do that? You're an elf for Santa, right? And then you ship them off. Well, you're actually shipping off stolen merchandise that's shipped to you. There's so many things that you can fall for online, unfortunately. If it sounds too good to be true, it's definitely a scam. Romance scam, puppy scams, all those scams are found on the internet.
And you said all really big around the holidays.
Very big around the holiday. For example, charities. We're all in a giving mood, and verify the charity before you give out any money. For example, the BBB, Better Business Bureau, we have something called give, give.org, O-R-G. If you want to give to a charity, research them. That is your money. You should research where your money is going to go. Also, fur babies. Folks want to give their loved ones, especially seniors, a cat or a dog during the holidays.
Right.
If you do that, be very cautious because if you order one online, it should be all upfront cost. It shouldn't be, oh, well, we have to ship your dog to you. The dog needs vaccines. Oh, it broke its leg. Oh, it got bumped from first class to coach. And it cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. If you do want to adopt a pet, go in person, meet the pet. Make sure they're compatible with who you're giving the pet to because you're making a commitment for 15 years.
Right.
Also, you shouldn't pay thousands and thousands and thousands of something that you haven't even met yet. So it's just something to really watch out for.
Right. I feel like we blew right past. I was going to ask you on the checking your parents' mail or your own mail. What is that an indication of if you're getting like magazine subscriptions that you didn't apply for?
Identity theft sometimes. And we could all be a victim of identity theft no matter how much we protect our information. If you're getting things in the mail like job applications or letters from job applications, if you're getting, those subscriptions you did not get, somebody might have your information and they may be using your information. One time many years ago, we had a young college student come in trying to take out some college loans to go to school. He couldn't because his credit was ruined. Turned out somebody had his Social Security number. Can happen to anybody of any age at any time. Wow. But also look at your credit score at least once a year. And that is free at no cost to look up your credit score. If you need help, we can help you with that. If you see anything that looks suspicious, report it right away because somebody could be using your identity. The biggest thing is don't panic. There are ways to fix this. And the one thing we pride ourselves at with the Better Business Bureau Education Foundation, we help you every step of the way with reporting it.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that we keep mentioning, you say, oh, you can call us. We're going to tell people how to get in touch with you all. And I mean, that's an invaluable service just to have a place where people can call and ask about things that they think are suspicious, but also to report things.
Absolutely. And we also go out to the public. We do speeches at no cost because we want to protect our consumers. We want to protect the greatest generation, their caregivers, everyone, because anybody of any age can fall for a scam. I know my phone rings all day. I'm sure your phone rings all day. These scammers are so good at what they do. It's easy to fall for these scams.
Yeah. So let's talk to people a little bit about, you mentioned the message request.
Yes.
On Facebook. So we know that a lot of grandparents and seniors are on Facebook. Particularly, a lot of people got on there to keep up with the rest of their families.
Yes.
Like grandchildren and other people. And so, I mean, your best advice for that is just
be cautious. Be cautious. For example, if you get a text message from your grandchild, call your grandchild. Make sure that's your grandchild because we see so many people fall for the grandparent scam.
Yes.
And for example, grandmother, I was arrested in Mexico. They found something in my car. Please don't tell mom and dad I need $5,000. Red flags. Call, verify, see what's going on. If they say, well, I can't talk, I'm in jail. Well, how are you texting me? How are you emailing me? Ask those questions. Ask questions that only your grandchild would know. How's the cat? Well, they don't have a cat. They're allergic. Ask questions only they would know. It's so important to be in each other's lives, to know what's going on, because even that prevents scams. Pass this information on because it's happening. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah, and that's really interesting because we call it the grandparent scam, and it's been around for a while. But earlier this year, we did the story where it was reversed.
Yes.
And it was the college student who got the phone call from somebody or the text message claiming to be from his mom, somebody who was holding his mom hostage.
Exactly.
And just send the money, and he fell for it.
Exactly. And anybody of any age can fall for these scams. The grandparent scam, they're really playing on the heartstrings. And the reason they target this population, the greatest population in my opinion, is they have benefits. Their homes are paid off. They're definitely getting a check from Social Security monthly. They know that they can get to these folks. And also fear. They will scare you. For example, the IRS scam, they say that you owe all these taxes. And then they're like, well, Miss Salazar, if you don't pay today, I'm going to come to your work. I see that you work at the Better Business Bureau. We'll come during your lunch hour so your staff doesn't see you getting arrested. They make it sound so scary. They'll even name the judge in my county. They'll name the sheriff in my county. They get all that on the internet.
Right. Yeah.
Everything's on the internet.
And we're going to post in our show notes several of the stories that we've done on some of these scams, because you were telling me earlier, I mean, it's mostly just hearing about these so that if it does happen to you or your parent, or you get that phone call, maybe you'll remember
exactly
that you watched or heard about a story and what it's all about.
And when in doubt, check it out. There are no silly questions. We see this all the time. Please give us a call. Also, it might be something that you might not even think is a scam. If you get a phone call during, elections and you think you're going to donate to your favorite candidate, it might not be your favorite candidate because they can change the number in the caller ID box to make it look like it's your candidate, and it's not. So you could actually be giving money to a scammer.
All right. A lot of good information. When we come back, you've got a lot to say about Medicare fraud.
Yes.
And so when we come back, that is what we're going to be discussing. And it's an important time of year for everybody to be hearing about those scams. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to this Ask Amy episode, all about senior fraud and the way that seniors in our community and all over the country are being defrauded. We brought Jennifer Salazar here from the Education Foundation of the Better Business Bureau to explain some of these things. One thing that you wanted to talk about, a lot of what you guys do, has to do with Medicare fraud.
Yes.
Why? Why is the Better Business Bureau involved in Medicare fraud issues?
And that's a great question. Did you know that your Houston Better Business Bureau is the only Better Business Bureau in the nation that has a federal grant called the Senior Medicare Patrol? So we have the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. We cover every county in the great state of Texas, all 254.
Wow.
Our mission is to try to prevent Medicare fraud before it happens. We do this through prevention, detection, and reporting. So we go out and we do speeches all over the state. We have 166 volunteers. We have 7 staff members through the whole state of Texas. So we go out and we do as much education as we can to prevent Medicare fraud. But what if fraud happens? Because it may happen.
Yeah.
We report the cases to the proper control units like the FBI, Office of Inspector General's office, Texas Attorney General's office. There's about 20 different offices, and I'm not going to put our viewers to sleep. But basically, if fraud happens, we report it.
And that is helpful. So the reason you guys have that federal grant is so that one phone number, someone can call you to ask about it.
Yes.
You recognize which agency would be the investigating.
Yes.
Okay, so now's an important time to give your phone number where people can call.
Absolutely. It's 1-888-341-6187. So let's talk about Medicare fraud.
Yes.
What is there not to talk about? There's a million Medicare frauds. It always starts on the telephone or on text message or, again, all communication. So you get a phone call and you really think it's Medicare, but it's not. It's a scammer. And they might be trying to get your Medicare number. They could say something like, Amy, we're updating the Medicare system. I see that you still live in Houston. What is your Medicare number? Why do they want a Medicare number? It's worth at least $30,000.
What? What do you mean?
No, but not to you, to a scammer.
Yeah.
Basically, what scammers do is all they need is a Medicare number, a doctor's signature. A lot of times they steal them, and then they produce a fake claim. They send that claim to Medicare. In one business day, Medicare produces 4.5 million claims.
Wow.
And they're all published on what's called a Medicare summary notice. Now, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, it's on an explanation of benefits.
Okay.
What we need to do as, children to seniors now, and what our seniors need to do and what the general public needs to do is look at what's called a Medicare summary notice for our loved ones.
Where is that?
It's mailed quarterly in the United States Postal Mail Service, or you can go on the internet at medicare.gov and look at yours at any time. If you see something that looks wrong, for example, if you're non-diabetic, if you're not a diabetic, but you're getting diabetic strips, that is a red flag. That is more than likely a possible fraud, error, or abuse.
Okay.
Also, you might get a phone call, and this is another Medicare scam. A lot of us don't like to go to doctors. Me personally, I have white coat syndrome. I'm scared of doctors. I can give speeches, I can talk to you, but going to the doctor is scary, okay? You get a phone call and you're on Medicare and it goes like this. Amy, are you in pain? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you're in pain. What hurts? Your knee? Well, we can send you a knee brace at no cost to you. We just need your Medicare number. And you get the knee brace, or you may not get the knee brace. The biggest thing to know, my friends, is if you really believe that you need a knee brace, or if you need anything, please go to your doctor. Another reason, if you get the wrong knee brace and it's charged to Medicare, you won't get another one. Not only that, we had a gentleman one year, one of my clients, 6'4", used to play basketball, having knee problems. He thought it was a miracle. He got the phone call saying that we can send you a free knee brace, right? It was a children's small.
Oh my gosh.
It would not fit him, but they charged like $600. Now, why would they do that?
Right.
They get more money. It's cheaper to buy a children's small. So it's something that we really need to be mindful of. If we need any services, we need to go to our doctor's office. Another one that's really big.
So is this one like a brace that was sent to a senior that's
Yes.
not really like...
Yes.
I mean, they're like over-the-counter type things.
You can go to any department store and buy these. For example, one of my interns one year, and I'm not going to say what store, she went to a very popular store that we all go to get our normal things. This was like $11.98. But this one went for about $600.
Wow.
And it's a big deal. Did you know that every year $60 billion is lost in Medicare fraud? $60 billion. And we're paying for it. Taxpayers, if you're paying taxes, you're paying for that debt.
Yeah.
So let's prevent it. We give out these healthcare trackers.
Okay.
And these are wonderful. If you want it, you call us. But when you go to the doctor's office, you fill it out. Then when you get your Medicare summary notice or your explanation of benefits, compare the two. Now, if your Medicare summary notice looks Greek, don't be scared. Call us. And if you just got out of the hospital, you have a lot of charges and you might have seen a lot of doctors and you don't recognize them. Call us and we can verify to make sure that happened or not. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. You talk to someone like me. I'm not intimidating. We go through everything and we review it. Another big scam we see with Medicare through the years is called genetic testing, are also cancer screenings. But basically, they offer to send you a swab. You swab it in your mouth, and it tells you if you have a genetic disorder or if you have cancer. It's definitely a scam.
Wow.
Also, cardiovascular genetic testing. Again, if you need any of these services, go to your doctor.
And so we've heard about some of these things, or I have over the years, where there might be some presentation set up at your senior living facility, whether it's just, a luxury senior apartment complex or an assisted living facility where people come in and they talk about these things or like services that they can offer. I mean, are those usually scams? I mean, should I be attending those if I have a senior parent?
Absolutely. So we talk to a lot of different facilities like that, and we give them a sheet on who not to let in. Because unfortunately, sometimes you may think, oh, well, they're going to give our seniors a pizza party and play bingo. That's fun. That's great. But what they don't know is they may be collecting those Medicare numbers at those events, and that's dangerous. A few years ago, that happened at a facility, and it turned out a few months later, somebody noticed a charge on their Medicare summary notice. They were getting home health, and they didn't qualify for it.
Oh.
And that's dangerous because we're all one accident away for needing help. And if they need that service, they might not get it in the future. So it's important to look at their summary notices. It's important to know that your Medicare card is your information. Only give it to your doctor. Protect it. If somebody calls you over the phone, do not give it out. If they threaten to cut off your Medicare benefits, it's a scammer. They're trying to intimidate you. They're trying to scare you.
Got it. And sometimes people may just be looking for a good deal. The scam may not come to you, but you stumble across it. Like in this story that you all did with us earlier this year, a woman was actually looking for a scooter. So take a look at this.
How many times do you see a great deal online and later figure out it's not exactly what you thought? That is what happened to one Alvin woman, and she's now sharing her story to warn others.
It showed her riding around on the scooter in the house and then outside.
A great deal on a scooter. It was exactly what Donna Dauberstein was looking for.
It was advertised for $99.99. I decided I'd go ahead and do it.
Weeks later, when she hadn't heard anything, she looked into where her PayPal payment was actually sent.
And that came up as a private individual. And so, of course, this set off a big red flag on me.
There was no scooter, and her money was gone. Jennifer Salazar with the Better Business Bureau tells us scooters and other medical equipment are common items thieves use in fake ads. The first warning sign is a super cheap price.
I know we're all looking for a deal, especially in this day and age, but there's a reason behind it.
Salazar says if you see an ad, find the actual company and then call them directly to see if the deal really exists. And never enter your Medicare information.
It might say like for more information or to redeem a coupon or something, enter your information here.
Thieves can use your Medicare number to collect fake payments. Keep in mind, medical equipment may be something you can get for free anyway.
A scooter could be durable medical equipment. Sometimes Medicare may pay for that if you get it prescribed by your doctor.
Well, there's a lot of elderly people, handicapped people, and they don't have a lot of money, and so this might seem like a good deal to them too.
Okay, so after that story aired, we were able to help Donna get a hold of the right people at PayPal, and she was able to get a refund. It doesn't always work out like that.
No, so that's a happy story. That's a happy ending.
Yeah, and you said, and we always tell people, paying with credit card at least makes it more likely that you're going to get a refund as opposed to putting in your debit card information or paying some other way.
Absolutely. Dispute those charges. If you don't recognize them, if it's wrong, dispute.
All right. So right now, we know that we're in the middle of open enrollment, nearing the very end of open enrollment. And you said the following months get to be sort of a busy time for you, important time. Why?
Yes. So for the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol, we don't deal with open enrollment, enrolling people into the Medicare prescription drug plans. We deal with, I call it the aftermath. So for example, if you go to your pharmacy and you enrolled in a plan, but then you find out you're not in that plan, That's when you call us, because some way, somehow you got in the wrong plan, and it could have happened possibly fraudulently.
Okay.
So that's where we come in and we try to see what happened. We work directly with CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, sometimes another control unit, to get you in the right plan and to make sure that, you know what, you're still going to get your prescriptions, make sure that, you know, the copays and everything's right. So we really clean up after open enrollment, because when you have so many people enrolling into plans, sometimes it could be an error. Somebody could have miskeyed it, or it could be possible fraud. So that's what we do. We help with the aftermath.
And that is so useful. I want to give the phone number again where people can call. So you give that.
Yes, it's 1-888-341-6187. Again, it's 1-888-341-6187. When you call the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol, you will hardly ever get a voicemail. And if you do, we call you back within 20 minutes, unless it's Saturday or Sunday, because it's important. If you have any scams to report, please call us. We are there to help you. If you accidentally give out your Medicare number, your Social Security number, we do not shame, we do not blame. We are there to help you clean it up, and we're there to protect you as a person.
I mean, you can't say that about many organizations or agencies, that you're able to call somebody back within like 20 minutes. And I think that's the problem, is that sometimes the help exists, but it takes you a while to get in touch with the right people.
Exactly. And that's why scammers are so successful at what they do, because guess what? They'll talk to you right away because they want your information. But sometimes, you know, we get so busy at agencies and organizations that we can't get to you as fast as a scammer does. So keep that in mind. Just because someone's friendly on the phone does not mean that they are your friend. And if they ever ask for money or any personal information, hang that phone up as fast as you can. Get an air horn, blow it in their ear, because it's probably a scammer.
All right, Jennifer, thank you so much. This was great information. We'll put everything, including that phone number, in our show notes. If you missed it, make sure that you go check out the show notes to get all the information you need. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy. Happy holidays.